IVM.
You have to be careful with everything nowadays, even while drinking water. There I was sitting at home drinking water, massaging my wife's feet. I always do that together because I love my wife. She's my beloved wife. And then my son calls me up from Canada, all the way from Canada, and he says, Dad, have you heard? I mean, I was watching the game at that point. I was a little irritated. I said, heard what? And he said, now you can get Kotak home loans at just 6.5%. I went crazy. I spat all over my own wife. After massaging her feet, I spat there. Can you believe it? And I couldn't believe it. I spat over her, and all I can say is, Kripya dhyan rakhiye. Because now I'm sleeping on the living room couch as a result of that. But really, folks, can you believe it's 6.5%? That is incredibly low for a home loan. I mean, just visit www.kotak.com for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Interest rate starting at 6.5% per annum.
Alright, hello and welcome back to another awesome episode of IVM Likes. I'm your host Antariksh, and joining me on this episode are my fellow IVM staffers Aditya Vora and Deep Singh Mukhtiar. What is happening, dear friends? What is up?
Hey bro, what's up? How are you?
All good, man. All good. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Aditya, how's it going, man?
Going good. Glad to be back here 2 times in a row.
Yeah, twice in a row. Let's make it a hat trick. We'll think of a theme for the next episode that suits Aditya's tastes. So it's perfect. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the phenomenon that has become Squid Game. We recently a show released by Squid Game that I'm sure I don't need to tell anyone of our listeners about. I'm sure you've already seen it because the numbers are staggering. The numbers that have been released by Netflix about the show are insane. We'll get to the show, we'll get to some of these numbers things. This new K wave, South Korean wave of like shows and movies that are like suddenly becoming popular. So all of that coming up on this episode right after this very short break. The Matrix, I, Robot, The Terminator, 2001 A Space Odyssey. There have been tons of epic movies that revolve around AI and the possible dangers it poses to humanity. AI is often shown as this thing that should be feared and can easily get out of control. But that's not really the case. Luckily, Intel's Digital Readiness Program is here to empower everyone with skill sets, mindsets, and tool sets to use in an AI-fueled world, so you can be ready to develop AI for even sports if you want to. As part of Intel's AI for Youth program, Intel's been working with the CBSE, the Ministry of Education, and the Government of India to empower today's youth to build social impact solutions while demystifying what AI is. How do you take advantage of this? Purchase an Intel powered PC and you get free access to 80 plus hours of immersive and hands-on training about AI. On completion of the program, along with the certificate, you get access to AI toolsets to try and put what you learned to good use. So don't wait. Log on to futurebanawonderful.intel.com. Future Banaw Wonderful by bringing home an Intel powered PC. And we are back. We're talking about Squid Game, one of the biggest shows to come out on Netflix in recent memory. I think of all time. Actually, yeah, of all time. I was reading up numbers on this, and Squid Game, okay, has become what? It released on September 17th of this year. Right now, the date we are recording this is October 21st. So just a little over a month, okay? September 17th it released, and it has already become the most watched show in Netflix history. In all of Netflix's history that has existed, it is crazy that this show's become that big. 44 million more users have joined Netflix since Squid Game launched. Okay, 44 million users have joined this thing and have subscribed to Netflix. The show has been viewed a total of 101 million times already, and 87 million people have already completed the show in the first 23 days of the release. Again, that also seems like a very high number to me. Like in 23 days, you're so many people are just finishing a show. It is crazy. So 101 million, that means 87 million are completing the show. The percentage of people that are actually completing the show is so damn high, dude. It's like what, 80% at least? Crazy to even think about. Lastly, like things around the show have also started becoming big because I don't know if you know this, but the shoes that they wear on the show, right, which is Vans white shoes. It's crazy to even say this. Vans white shoes ka sales have gone up by 7,800%. 7,800%.
Somebody,
Oh, Vans shoes have gone up so much.
somebody is Waiting money over there.
Dude, yeah, man, Vans, like, dude, I mean, they were probably like, dude, we just supplied shoes for this one show. We thought it would be nothing. They had weird uniforms, and the plot was like, okay, it just seemed like I don't know what. And next
Yeah,
thing you know, we are the
Netflix.
biggest shoes in the country, dude. Is in the whole
Netflix
world.
should totally like tweet this out with that meme, "Paisa hi paisa hoga."
Correct.
Yeah.
Paisa hi paisa, yeah.
It's catching for Vans people, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
man. Can you imagine that? Just the shoes, dude. I wonder who makes those track pants. So I've been thinking, right, dude, this Halloween is so sorted for everyone who has watched this show. It is so damn sorted. Van shoes you can get everywhere. Track pants, if you want the green track pants, the track suits, you can get them everywhere. The red track suits, which I imagine would be even more popular. The red, the commanders wala with the circle and the triangle and the square wala signs. Though the hoodie wala the thing, the red hoodies, those will be even more popular, I imagine. And the most popular will be the frontman's mask. That
Right.
mask is so awesome looking, dude. I love that mask. It has like those angular features and all.
Yeah, that
It's
geometric
amazing, dude.
pattern on the mask.
Geometric
is really
pattern and
cool.
all.
Hey,
Damn cool, dude.
talking about that triangle, square, and circle on the henchmen's faces.
Yeah.
Or should I call them henchmen or
Henchmen.
whatnot?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Henchmen's
giving them that word.
faces.
I would have
Yeah.
struggled the entire show. Like, oh, the red hooded guys with the triangle, square, circle. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The first time I saw, I was like, is this something to do with PS4 controllers?
I get what you mean,
exactly,
man.
exactly.
अरे सर्कल किधर गया सर्कल क्यों नहीं है सर्कल है sorry which one did they miss X
The
yeah they missed
X,
X
yeah.
yeah correct yeah X is when you die
Yeah.
X
Yeah.
comes on you yes I get it hey
So actually, I
smart.
was reading something on these costumes, and they have designed the guards' ka costumes or the henchmen ka costumes to look like ants. That was the motivation behind those masks.
Sorry, pardon me?
The
Like
masks that
ants.
so the masks they have been designed to resemble ants.
Oh yes the big head
Yes.
yeah I get it
Oh,
yeah that
but
makes
still,
sense
but still doesn't justify or still doesn't explains why the triangle, squares, and stuff.
I think they first made the mask and then they realized oh that's kind of antish so that's what we'll say now
So I think the triangles and the circles they were for the hierarchy in their system.
yeah so circles
Invitation card also had like the triangle, square, and circle on it, as
That's
if it
just their
was a
sign.
logo.
That's the company's logo or something, you know.
Yeah, as if it was a
Yeah.
logo.
Yeah, correct.
Like PS4 should go for royalty.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, what? Let's just quickly get this out of the way. How did you find out about the show? What made you finally watch it? And what did you think of the show? A short answer would be nice right now.
Okay, so the first time I found out about the show was because everyone was talking about it. I was like already
Exactly.
10 days after the show, and
Yeah.
Twitter was full of it. And I
Yeah.
was like, I really need to know what these memes mean, man. And I had to watch it.
Yeah. Exactly. I get it.
And
Quite similar.
me-
I was told to it. I was told by a very good friend of mine. 2 days after the show launched, she was like, "Dude, I've already finished it, and it is excellent." And I'm like, "What Squid Game? What South Korean show? I don't know what's man. It's gonna
exactly.
be.
So this
I'll
whole
watch
thing about
subtitles
South
and all."
Korean shows. So
Yeah.
I've had a really bad experience with South Korean shows. So I tried watching Reply 1988 for like 5 months. I could never go beyond 2 episodes.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So exactly, so like a friend of mine told me 2 days after the show, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, I'll give it a chance. And literally the next day, which is the third or fourth day after the show, literally the next day, 3 other friends tell me in the same day. I'm like, dude, what is going on? This is insane. I guess I have to watch this now, dude. Like, damn it! Like, if so many people have told me in just 2 days, it is crazy. It must be insane. It is just launched the show, and it was already getting buzz online. Okay, I gotta check this out. What about you?
You know,
Deep?
I have heard a lot of people swearing by K dramas. Oh my god,
Yeah, dude.
I have a thing for K dramas. You know, I like K dramas.
Dude,
I'm into K-dramas.
you know what? I have tried some K dramas. My ex girlfriend was really into K dramas. Okay, and I've tried watching some of them, but some of them are extra drama, dude. Like kuch zyada hi drama, you know.
Like the Ekta Kapoor from South Korea.
No. That is a different kind of drama. That is like so. Ekta Kapoor seems like forced drama, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a sense, it seems like they do much ado about nothing. Like small, are chai mein namak kam hai, you know, like whatever. I'm making a very bad example, but you get what I mean. Usko hi, are chai mein namak kam hai, dhar, 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 dhar. They'll zoom in on 5 different people's faces who are standing there and like waste time and do all that shit. Korea won't do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot more tasteful, but it's still a lot of drama for drama's sake. It's just everything's.
But by drama, do you mean a romantic drama, or because I have in bits and pieces, or maybe on the reels on Instagram, I've seen like romantic dramas. They just
Yeah.
put a Bollywood song behind these K drama scenes.
Oh, okay.
and they try
I
to
know what you mean.
picture it. Yeah.
I know what you mean. Okay, firstly, I should clarify. I don't watch K-drama that much, so I should not be talking about an entire genre
Yeah, neither do
of
we.
shows.
I mean, neither do I.
But
This is the Squid Games itself is the first K drama. I won't say K
I would
drama, but
say
a K thriller.
same with me. Exactly
Yeah,
same
it's
with
a
me.
K thriller, Korean thriller season. That was the first one for me, and it blew me away. And to just answer your question previously, how I came across it, I'm the one who doesn't really follows the herd. If it comes by my way, okay, I'll see it, but I will not be swearing by it. So my cousin brother who had come here to stay over, he told me that hey, you should really watch Squid Game. What is Squid Game? It's like just watch this. I said, is it like Hunger Games or something? Like so when he started off the thing, so by the second or the third game that they played, I was like, this is I think it's similar to Hunger Games.
Huh.
If anybody has seen, I think it's
Yeah,
a little bit similar
it
to a
is, yeah.
Hunger
The
Games.
plot wise, it is like you participate in games, and whoever
Yeah,
loses dies, right? Isn't that
yeah,
Hunger Games about
exactly.
also? Yeah.
But Hunger Games after the second movie gets a little dramatic when Jennifer Lawrence and her love interest, forced love interest, gets into the show thingy. That's where the drama part comes in Hunger Games. While in this one, there was a continuous thriller that was always going on with every new game.
Yeah.
So that's where they made a difference from Hunger Games, Squid Game. So that's how it really caught my attention. So hence I really liked Squid Games a lot. So I actually went on and tried to find some other thriller similar to Squid Games as well, which I'll be mentioning in the episode further. But yeah, continuing about that, you were saying about K dramas.
So there's been a current wave of a lot of South Korean content popularity. Like South Korean content has been gaining a lot of popularity recently. Like K-pop is like at an all-time high. Like BTS, bands like the BTS, and there are a couple of more that I can't really remember the names of right now. But so these guys are huge right now. K-dramas, of course, like Squid Game, and then other shows that people tell me about are like epic shows. So movies like Parasite have been winning Oscars. There's one more movie, right?
Minari.
Something with Minari, yeah. They also won like some Oscar or something, which is crazy. So a lot of South Korean stuff is getting a lot of recognition, like globally, basically. When is India gonna get that, dude? When is our show gonna be like everywhere? Dude, I heard a very good joke, okay? It's from comedian Mark Norman. Someone in the he was like performing. He's an American New York comedian, and someone in the audience was performing. He was performing, and someone in the audience shouts at him, "Squid Game!" Like, what do you think of Squid Game? They want to say, like, Squid Game. He's like, Squid Game. I love the show, but not a lot of diversity. Why don't they get in trouble? So good. Oh man, so good. Yeah, it's yeah.
India really does has its share of show episodes or its share of dramas, which really deserves the appreciation that Squid Game is getting. But it's again, we are ourselves the ones who don't really push that to a
We don't
limit.
appreciate our own content, our own good
Korea,
content, basically. Is what it's-
yeah, Korea itself has pushed Squid Games to such level that it could cut through that threshold where once it crosses, it booms out like anything. Once you
Hmm.
cross that threshold, it just blasts and it spreads like a virus all over the globe. So that's what happened with Squid Games. I think marketing is something which plays a very important role. Indian seasons in Indian television series or Indian OTT series deserves that kind of marketing,
Talking of that,
which series
don't you
like
think Squid Game spread more by word of mouth?
I think word of mouth, of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
But before
initially.
word of mouth comes marketing.
हाँ, but
So
इसमें
what's the
मतलब
marketing? I think
हाँ, I
initially,
mean,
yeah.
it had like so almost all of us heard it from our friends and stuff. It's ना इसका कुछ there were no trailers which made all the hype. There was nothing before the show came out. In fact, we mostly heard of it after it came out.
You know what? This is my theory. This is my thinking. So, like 2 days after Squid Games was released, I was seeing memes on made on Squid Games, like the
हाँ,
scene when Ali holds up the main character
yes.
when he was falling. That scene. There were memes like when I haven't studied in the exam, and the next day I'm depending on my friend for the answers of the question paper. So that was a scene compared to so the memes made by that, and plus when that old guy number one player
हाँ,
was sitting in a corner. Again, that was the scene that was made memes on. So people are curious. Okay, where is this coming from? Why are they placing such pictures and making a meme? What does this mean? From there, they rooted to find the what do you say source of this whole thing, source of that meme, and they happened to come across Squid Games. and then they saw Squid Games, and then they understood what that meme meant. But that was faded. That it was
Yes.
taken over by how awesome that show is, and then came the word of mouth.
Also, it
That
helps that on Netflix, right? Their thumbnails are very interesting
Huh.
because of these uniforms, right? And the square and the circle and this thing
yeah
and triangle. Like it's very captivating, dude. Like you feel like before even understanding what the show was, I had already stopped on it and I'm like, okay, what is this? What am I looking at? Like so. It's always also that also kind of helps on Netflix.
yeah.
So moving on slightly, let's talk a little bit about the plot of the show because then we have to get into more in depth. So just the basic plot of the show is again, I'm sure all our listeners have already know this, but this is going to be a slightly a spoiler kind of a spoiler discussion episode. The plot of the show that hundreds of people in debt, hundreds of cash strapped individuals, 456 people to be exact, participate in these children's games. Okay, 6 children's games they participate in, and the winner of which will take home an unbelievably huge cash prize. But the catch is that whoever loses also loses their life, like they die. So that's the plot of the show. There are actually deadly consequences. There are like 6 games that they do on the show. There are some really cool characters that you get introduced to. So let's talk a little bit about that. Firstly, I like that everything on the show is nothing is complicated. Okay, everything is simple. Like it was so easy to follow everything. It is easy to follow the characters. It is easy to follow the dialogue. It is easy to follow the game. Like even if you haven't played those games in your life, it is very easy to follow everything. Okay, what is happening? For instance, like the very first game they play is something called red light, green light. Right? It's about green light you have to move forward, and red light you have to be still. And if you move even a little bit, you lose and then you end up dead. You get shot in the head or whatever.
No, but I first saw that game in Takeshi's Castle.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't seen that game. Okay, that's cool. That's very interesting.
the Javed Jaffrey version. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that
Arey,
was
Chapar Ganju.
yeah. I first saw that game in Takeshi's Castle, but the only catch in that game was there was a hill that you had to climb, and again the red light, green light,
Ha. Okay. Now
the
I remember. Yes.
yeah, the
That
red
is,
light, green light person
yeah.
was supposed to be standing
Right.
on the
Right.
top of the hill, and he used to say the green light. Okay, then they used to climb the hill, and but the participants were wearing like suits or something like a marshmallow thing wrapped around them, which was
They
having
roll
a
a
weight
lot.
of its own,
Yeah.
a weight of its own.
Wow.
But then if they lose the balance when they have to stop on this red light, they just topple off. That's the way of dying they created. But here it was snipers. There was you're falling down the hill.
But I didn't realize that Takeshi Castle was so dark. People were dying and all after they lost these games. Like, damn it. I didn't
No,
realize.
they
No.
weren't dying. They were just
I'm
falling
What?
joking.
off.
What
Yeah,
were you
yeah.
watching?
I'm joking, but it'll be hilarious to think that,
The
man, all
guards.
those people died
The
for Takeshi's
guards at
Castle.
Takeshi's castle were way scarier than the guards here.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
They were looking hilariously terrible.
Ha.
yeah.
To be honest, hilariously terrible. They used to have paints and all. They were looking like that Street Fighter character,
Like road
the
warriors.
sumo wrestler. Yeah, like
Yeah.
warlords. If you fall, they used to just they used to just hit you with those spongy things. Yeah.
Do you think this show had an even more meteoric rise than Game of Thrones? I think
Absolutely.
it did.
Yeah.
Right? Because Game of Thrones, I think, really hit its stride. Like I started watching it around like season 4 or something, you
Ha.
know, and I think it hit its stride with with the audience who had already read the books from season 1, but everyone else got to know about it after the first season when Ned Stark basically ends up dead. Right? That's when people are like, "Oh shit, they killed off the main character. What kind of a show is this, dude? That's crazy." And then you start getting interested in the show and stuff.
See,
So
as you just mentioned, continuing to that plot that we were mentioning about
yeah,
how the games happen, the games thingy. So Game of Thrones, connecting that with this thing, Game of Thrones is a little lesser than Squid Games. Squid Games happens to be layman's season. Like
anybody can
anybody
watch it.
watching Squid Games can understand it very easily.
Yeah.
And plus,
They
it
dubbed it in
has
like some like what is it, like 10 languages or something, right? In 9 languages or something they dubbed it in like on
yeah.
day of release because it was so popular. And
Yeah, while Game of Thrones is more of politics, is more of how people fight and die over thrones and
Hmm.
getting law into their hands. Squid Games is not that. Squid Games is more realistically dark and plus very easy to understand. And since it has these games where you lose lives, that creates a thriller in this whole thing, which is more catchy. While Game of Thrones is all about people who really don't want to invest that much of brains will like Squid Games. I think so.
That makes sense to me. That actually makes sense. Also, Ari, one more number I forgot to mention is Netflix. So after all this happened, right? After the 101 million views and 87 million people completing the show and all that, Netflix has put a value on the show, and then this show after the first season itself is valued at $900 million.
which is
Again,
insane. If
insane,
you compare
which
the
is
production
crazy,
cost,
dude. That's like,
the show
yeah,
was produced
man.
for $21 million and it's worth nine. It's almost 40x. It's insane.
Dude, the actors were not known. I've never even heard of any of them. The director, I don't think, was known. None of them were even big in Korea, if I'm to understand correctly, right? So it's insane. Like overnight after the show was released, like not overnight, but like almost immediately after a couple of days after the show released, the main chick who plays Kang Se Byak, right? She had like what is it, like 300,000 followers or something on Instagram, and the next day she had like 60 million followers or something like that. Crazy, craziness.
By now, I guess everybody might be knowing this. Squid Games was rejected in 2009.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
guess.
10 years.
it's been in development hell for like 10 years, production hell like for like 10 years or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so in 2021, it took a leap. That was like the biggest leap that it took, and it is now the number one thing, I guess,
Number
amongst
one, highest view. Yeah.
all the seasons, or
All the shows on
series,
Netflix.
all the
Yeah.
series on Netflix.
Dude, everything. It is the highest viewed thing on Netflix. And they just spent $500 million for Seinfeld. They'd be like, damn it. Kyun kiya? 500 million, dude, for Seinfeld, which is crazy. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the games. Let's talk about some of the characters. Firstly, I have to say, dude, the main lead of the show, the guy who plays, the actor who plays Sang Gi-han.
Song Ae-han. Yeah.
Dude, what an actor. What an actor, dude. Like, I love that guy from episode 1. He's likable. He seems like a very common, like a nice dude. Like someone he's just like, okay, let's just
What
chill,
was so
relax,
nice about him? That guy was stealing from his mother. What are you saying?
dude, but like, yeah, but
As you're mentioning about him,
very
like what a nice
likable.
actor.
Likable, I
That
mean.
scene, that scene ran into my head when they are asked to stand in front of the camera
And he smiles.
and
Huh.
oh my
Yeah, that
God.
smile. Yeah, like
I
yeah.
knew at that very moment I like this guy.
Yeah, this guy. Dude. Also, though, his the guy who plays his childhood friend, that Sang Woo guy.
Yeah.
Also very good actor, but of course that role required him to be more understated compared to this guy. But again, very good actor. Ali Abdul's character was very cool. I have to say, Ali Abdul is like the most common Muslim name they could have gone with. Like, the first name that comes to your mind is Ali Abdul when you think of a Muslim name, and they went with that, which is very funny.
But he was the muscle man, I guess, in the team that they
I
made
mean,
later.
yeah, dude, I found out like, okay, this is gonna be weird, but did you also find out only like episode 3 or 4 that he had a few fingers missing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it the second
And
episode? Second or third?
No, I realized in the where he dies, again, spoiler alert, guys, gonna be a spoiler review. The episode where he dies, also that episode is crazy. The way Sang-woo takes advantage of Ali's good nature is crazy. Police officer guy, Hwang Jun-ho, whose character arc was a little questionable to me. Again, something we need to talk about.
Huh.
And one of my favorite characters, at least till the second last episode, and in the last episode, I was like, okay, was the old dude.
Huh.
Old dude. His name we find out is O Il Nam, is his name, and dude, till episode like 6, I was like, that guy was the craziest motherfucker ever, dude. He was like laughing in all the games. That tug of war where they're like behind, this guy's a smile on his face. I burst out laughing when I saw that.
You totally missed out my
so-
favorite character.
Which one was that? Frogman?
Daksu.
What? No, yeah. So
Oh, why, bro?
Daksu, the
Why?
gangster
Yeah,
dude.
kitna
Yeah.
cool though.
Dude, he was pretty cool. And the crazy
And
girl
those
also,
tattoos.
man. Minyo.
The snakes coming out of his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I first thought he has a scar, but then I saw clearly it was like a snake's mouth and thing.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
correct.
I was
The
like,
other old
okay.
man.
And also his sometimes girlfriend, sometimes not girlfriend, Han Minyo. She was also like, she played a crazy woman, but again, she played really well.
Right.
Yeah.
Very convincing. So your favorite character, Aditya, I am to understand,
Daksu.
is Daksu. And what about Deep? Who did you enjoy the most?
Oh, Song Gi Han. I was
You're
really sold by that
you're a
character at
purist.
the first scene when he just smiled at
Just
the
smiled.
camera.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I would say Old Man till episode 6, and then Sangi Han was like a close second. So I would just say Sangi Han now.
Why I like that guy? Because that guy had a conscience. You know that game where they have to play with marbles when the other person has all the marbles of the opponent.
You lose, yeah.
He wins. He wins, right? So over there, I got to know like he is forced to go against his righteous conscience.
Yeah, that was
So
again very interesting, dude. So well done.
yeah,
You could see how much he's battling with himself because he's doing
yeah,
this, right?
yeah,
So difficult for him to
yeah.
get rid of his what is the word they use? The friend, the gambu or something.
Yeah.
Nam, yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, very interesting, dude. And then the old man, he's like under dementia, right? He's forgetting where he is and all.
He was not actually. He
Yeah,
He
was
was
he
acting,
exactly.
seemingly acting. That was a bizarre tactic this guy, the Woodman's using, dude.
How
Just
many
played.
of you? How many of you had a doubt on his dementia problem from the very get-go of this episode?
Not me, man.
I did not see that
I
coming
was
at all.
sold.
Yeah, I was sold.
I was sold by his dementia issue when he mentioned it. Okay, but I was having a doubt on his dementia issue when he was explaining a strategy for the tug of war. I was like, he remembered the strategy
But that's
way back from
that's
his
actually how
childhood.
dementia is in real life. So you forget what's happened, Abhi, but you remember it from like your past,
Yeah,
the core
you remember old
memories.
things. Yeah, yeah. That's
And I
exactly
was
how it
That's
is.
pretty,
Yeah.
actually,
I was pretty much
huh?
sure. I was pretty much sure about he faking his dementia problem when he played the marble game, because I was like, he has just one marble, and how can he forget 10 marbles? He could have forgotten it on the fifth marble or maybe the fourth marble. Acceptable, but on the first marble itself, he
No,
forgot.
but that was
Oh,
a move. Yeah, like he was slightly acting the dementia
yeah,
part in
Huh.
that
yeah.
this thing, but he definitely had a tumor. He was definitely dying. So
Hmm.
because that then adds to why he wants to play this game. At first, I thought he was going to be like a proper threat. He'll be like acing every game because he's like, ha ha, mujhe maro, mujhe marna hai
Huh.
bro. So I thought he's gonna like win everything, but no, he was like a
In that games, when you have that immunity to go around messing up with the cops, and I'm like, okay, you want to kill me, I'm not gonna
Huh.
die. Like that old man had that immunity. I was like,
yeah, man had
okay,
immunity,
yeah, I'll
correct?
play, I'll
Yeah,
play any game. You're gonna
yeah,
यार
kill
immunity
me,
सुन के मुझे
yeah,
रोडीज
because
याद आता है बस.
yeah.
somewhere he knew that I am the boss over here. You're not gonna kill me.
So, what was your favorite game? Let's talk about all the games first. First there was that red light, green light. The second game was
Honeycomb.
Honeycomb. Before that, after the first game, they had a voting round where they all decided at first, so the rules apply that if the majority says that they no longer want to continue with these games, they will all be allowed to go home. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, so they at first they all decide, okay, yeah, fuck it, we're not doing this. We don't want to all end up dead. So we are calling this quits. And then whoever decides to, if they any of them decide to come back, they can continue that game. Then how many more people decide to come back? So 456 people were at first who played that game. Some 200 people lost their lives in the first game itself, right? And the remainder decided to go back home. And then some of them from that remainder decided to come back, which was like some,
And
what
this
is it,
thing
like
was
100 something
really
came back.
interesting because the old man was the
Yeah,
one who had the final vote, and his was the deciding vote.
but I like what he did though. I understand what he
Huh.
did. He said no at first because he was like, dude, if I'm the one organizing this, if I'm forcing people to play, then they don't really want to play. If I'm the deciding factor. So let me say no. And if they want to come back, they'll come back,
Huh.
and then we continue. We'll see how it goes. Good dude. I like that. I like that. Is it man of his word? And okay, anyway, so that was the first game was red light, green light, then the voting round, and then they came back from the voting and all that. The third was
The
the
honeycomb
Honeycomb.
game.
the honeycomb thing, right? Yeah, which was you have to like take out a specific shape from the
Mhm.
honeycomb. Uh, so that was number two. Number three was
The tug
Tug
of
of
war.
war.
number
Huh.
three.
Yeah.
Okay, so number three was tug of war. Number four
Marbles.
was marbles. Okay, yeah, true. Number five was
The
वो glass
breaking
panels वाला.
glasses.
Huh.
Oh, that was intense, dude. That was damn cool. The great game again. And number 6 was, of course, Squid Game
Squid
itself.
Game.
So what was your favorite game, or which episode did you think was the most well done for that game? The glasses one was epic, dude. That was super intense, and because it's right at the end, you see people's frustrations, right? You saw that Daksu's frustration, you saw Sang Woo's frustrations. It's very cool to see, and man, it was very interesting getting into these people's psyche. You can see how they're being broken down every because they're getting closer to death. There are lesser and lesser people. There's more and more money being accumulated. Also, quickly, in the first episode, right? The timing of when they reveal the money, right? Of how much money there is, it is brilliant, dude. So well done. Right when that Sangwoo guy announces, there's also rule number 3 that if we all decide to go home, majority all decide to go home, then we can all go home. Okay, and the front man like, yeah, okay, you're right. By the way, here's the money you'll win, and then he shows the money at that time, and Sangwoo changes his mind like, oh shit, and he votes, okay, yes, I want to continue. If you remember in the first this thing, man, genius. So well done, dude. The timing of that was great. So well done. So again, coming back to what is your favorite game?
I would go for the Breaking Glasses one. That had everybody on their toes.
Yeah, correct.
Even the viewer itself.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
we were on our toes. Like, okay, no, not the left, what not the right. I had this whole thing. There was a railing which was holding the glasses on the either side. Right?
If you just stand on the railing, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you would be fine.
Yeah,
Why couldn't they do that?
I was thinking that also. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You stand on the railing. Also, like, so basically there are like, so 2 panes of glass. There's a gap in the middle between 2 panes of glass, and each piece of glass is held up by 2 railings on either side of that pane of glass, right?
Yeah.
So you can stand on the pane of glass, exactly, dude. You can totally stand on the panes of glass.
Yeah.
You can actually stand if you want to stand properly and just walk across. So these are 2 panes of glass, right? And each of the sides have the supports. So these 2 supports, right, are kind of close to each other. The supports in the middle. You can just stand on the supports with both your legs, be comfortable, and just walk across, dude. Have a merry time. That's what I would have done. See these losers. No wonder they died. They deserved
My
to
favorite
die.
game was Red Light, Green Light, and specifically because like 200 people died. Yeah,
People
kitna-
died, man. Insane.
it was just massacre out there.
It felt like Jallianwala Bagh. I'm sorry to make a spoof of this, but
Oh, good lord.
it felt like that.
What terrible thing to laugh at. Oh my god. Hilarious. Sorry. So sorry.
I'm
Oh,
really
man.
sorry to make that, but yeah, it gave
Yeah,
me that
but-
feeling that
But I
they-
get what
they're
you
just-
mean, dude. Yeah, this is running towards like one exit. There's one
What I
exit,
really
basically.
learned about Red
Yeah.
Light, Green
There
Light.
wasn't any exit. There was just
I mean,
yeah,
exit is they run one direction. No, same as Jallianwala Bagh. If they had to
Mhm.
exit, there's only one way to exit, right?
yeah.
That entryway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Great. Great
But
observation.
till one of the guy got shot, everybody was saying, "Oh man, this is a game.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
fun,
we used to
dude.
play
It's
it.
fun.
Let's
It's
do this.
nice.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun." Yeah.
And then after that guy gets shot, the only one excited is still the old man.
I was
This
like,
goes
Yeah.
running across. Merrily.
I really liked that scene.
I
It was
really
like,
love
it was running, and was
Yeah, yeah.
stopping. Like,
Yeah.
he was giving that
That
smile.
smile,
when he
dude. That
spoke.
smile. Yeah.
So many
exactly.
people just died because of the panic that was created by the first death.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, that's exactly how I would die. Firstly, like first game, someone gets shot. Like, what the fuck, dude? I don't want this. Would you?
There are these scenes. There are these scenes in these games. For example, this one, the red light, green light one,
Yeah.
where this old guy is running and he just stands and just smiles. That scene is like the one thing that just lightens up thing. Then the other one in the honeycomb thing when Song Ki Han chooses the umbrella shape, and when he gets to know that he is going to be taking out the umbrella shape out of that
Huh.
honey candy,
He's like, I'm
and he
dead.
just zooms out
Yeah.
into his
Oh
face.
yes,
Like,
that
Yeah,
phase.
yeah, I'm screwed. Yeah, correct.
I was like, now you're gone.
But he's so right. That game is kind of unfair for the guy who gets umbrella, man. Like it is so difficult. How do you take out an umbrella? That umbrella stick will kill you, dude.
Mhm.
So okay, most of us are in agreement. Okay, no, Deep and I are in agreement that the glass panel wala game was the best. Red light, green light for Aditya. I also thought the Kanche wala episode, the marbles wala episode was again excellent episode.
Right.
You get to find out more about Sebyak, the girl. You get great character analysis of Gi Han on that episode, and Sang-woo also. The three main characters, right? The three leads, so to say, speak, that who we are following. You get each of them get a lot of great character development on that episode, and that Deoksu segment of that episode is hilarious. The one where he makes that hole and he has to like put it into that hole with the other guy who's like super cocky and confident, and Deoksu gets the best of him in the end. Hilarious.
Also, since we're talking
But
about
yeah, that was a
games,
very well done
the
episode.
tug of war episode, the way it ended,
Excellent.
you just
Yeah.
couldn't stop there. You had to watch what happens next.
Yeah, correct. Agreed. Yeah. Dude, and that whole strategy and all made so much sense to me. I'm sure it's but I'm like, yaar, yahi hota hoga, yaar. Yeah, correct. I have played some tug of war in college. We used to have it like, I think we had like two different functions in college during our college years, and where we would have tug of war, like inter class or inter batch tug of war or whatever you have. And that is a strategy, by the way. Standing one side this way, so one side this way, one side like standing alternately on each side is a very good strategy for tug of war, because you have balance and you're pulling from both sides. If you're all standing one side, then your other side is completely off, dude. It is just completely off balance. So that is one strategy I knew. And but that thing makes so much sense to me, dude. If you just fall back, basically don't let go for the first like 10 seconds, 15 seconds or whatever. Okay, you'll see an opening. That makes sense to me, because
What happens? What happens if the other one also knows the strategy? The opposite opponents.
I
also
guess
know the
then
strategy.
then it's just a matter of like who can last the longest in this, right? I think that'll what it come down to.
Yeah,
But
but this scene, but the tug of war
yeah,
scene. If I mean, I have so many connections. I watch so many movies. I might be bragging about myself. But the tug of war scene, when the other opponent, when the losing team falls off that edge, that scene reminded me of the movie 300.
Huh.
When from the ledge
Yeah.
they push the enemy
I get it.
like off the edge, and they fall off the edge, and like if that scene goes in slow motion and everything. This scene reminded me of that when I watched the tug of war game.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That makes sense to me.
So which of the character you hated the most? Which character you hated the most?
Man, like because this character was meant to be hated was Han Minyo, the crazy chick, Daksu's supposed girlfriend. She acted like the character was meant to be hated. It was made
I
to be
hated
hated. Obviously.
Sang-woo.
Very irritating.
So did I. So did
Sang-woo?
I.
क्या
Dude, I really
कितना
like
बोरिंग
Sang-woo.
था यार, कितना बोरिंग था वो.
Oh, I really like him.
I didn't hate him for being boring, but I hate him for being a sly fox.
Yeah, and that.
Yeah, dude,
from the
exactly.
get-go.
Very
From the
sly.
get-go. From the get-go. From the
Yeah, he was a bad friend from the get-go, basically.
yeah.
He was basically good outside games. Inside games, he was a terrible dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't tell him about the umbrella thing. Also, though at the end, he did kill Sang-byak also, Se-byak.
He did
What?
kill his ticket to cross to the other side of that breaking glass bridge. The guy who knew which is a tempered glass and which is a soft glass.
Yeah,
He just pushed him on the
Yeah,
last
but
glass.
there was no time left, man.
and
all
he
would have
killed
died.
Ali.
He killed
And he
Ali.
killed him.
Ali killed Ali. He betrayed Ali, dude. He didn't just kill him. That's a betrayal.
That poor guy was
Yeah.
just hanging stones around his neck and walking around the whole area.
Yeah.
Like at the end, when you get to know this, like it's really sad.
Yeah, correct, dude. Yeah. He was a simpleton. Ali was a simpleton,
You
easily
know what I
manipulated.
thought?
And that's what
Like in the
happened.
Marbles episode, I thought when Ali knows कि इसके हाथ में एक बचा है, he would say you have an even number and he would lose all his marbles. He would wager all of them against his.
Also, the Marvel thing was very interesting because you can play any Marvel game. Sorry,
Huh.
Marvel game. Marvel, I'm saying. Any Marvel game. So you can make up any game, basically. Let's see who can eat the most marbles. And nobody can eat them.
But I really didn't understand that Ji Young, two girls who played Marvels, Ji Young and the
Se-byak.
other girl,
Yes.
Se-byak. So why did she just gave up her life like that?
She said she didn't have anything to go forward to outside the thing, go back to. And also, she had said in the beginning of the episode, right, when she was talking to Sebak, that I'll make sure you win if you have me on your team. So that also she was sticking to. And she kind of like bonded with Sebak like a couple of episodes before that, and that episode also. So yeah, a few
She
things.
was kind of cute. She should have
Yeah.
been the one who lived.
That's why, because she was cute, she should have lived. Damn it! Why do all the cute people have to die?
Yeah, the savior looked like Moni Roy,
Yeah, I know.
but
Yeah,
from
fair enough.
Korea.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I get it. Would you ever participate in something like this? I'll be honest. I know I'll die almost immediately, dude. There's no way. There's no way in hell among 456 people am I ever thinking, oh, I'll come first for anything. That is just not happening. So there's no way in hell I'm participating because I know I'm gonna die for sure. What
Even
do you
if you
guys
have
think?
a death wish.
I don't. I mean, I would like $45 billion, sure, but not enough of a death wish.
Because most of them in Squid Games really had that wish. That's why they participated. Like the old guy and the girl the cute girl that I just mentioned,
Yeah.
they really had that wish. That's why they participated in that.
Yep. True. Again, so would you guys
No.
participate in it? I don't think so. It's very difficult to say yes, also, man.
No,
Deep,
I would.
really, you would.
Yeah, yeah, I would.
But how far are you thinking you're gonna get, dude? Are you thinking you're gonna win?
I don't know how far I would get, but I'll try my best.
Yeah, but if you lose, the thing is
Now
death.
that's gonna be a psychological trip if I go to explain that. I really don't want to get into that. And I really don't want to bore people. I really don't want to reduce your
I just
followers or
want to be
my
rich.
likes.
Anything to get rich.
I don't really
Just-
care about the money.
yeah.
Just to be
What?
honest, I
You
don't
just
really care about the
you
money.
just want to play the game.
I just want to play the game.
क्या पागल आदमी है ये तो yeah, this
I
guy
don't
has a
really.
death wish. Yeah. So
I can relate. I can be that old guy in the whole game. I just want to play the game.
I get it. But before that, the last episode. What do you guys think of the last episode?
I really need an explanation for that. That's what I think.
Okay, fair. I
But I did understand that he's planning to get back to the games.
he is. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
either get back to the games or see, I think what will end up happening, someone was telling me that and it sounded very plausible, was that the cop isn't dead. The cop brother isn't really dead because we didn't see him get shot in the head. We saw his like chest getting shot. So it could go either way. Maybe he was wearing Kevlar,
Ah.
or maybe he was like maybe like I don't know, it wasn't like a death wound, it won't kill him. So he and Gi Hun next season will team up and they'll bring down this organization together, is what my understanding is. And Gi Hun will do it from the inside, this guy will do it from the outside, or either or. But why would they let him participate again? If they already know he's won all this money, if they already know that he has an advantage, what it entails, I don't know if they would let him participate.
That
That's what I'm
depends on
thinking.
how greedy Netflix gets.
Yeah, true. But
The
again,
one who made this series didn't really planned it to end it end in the first season itself. He might have had some of the other followings after Squid Game 1. So that's why they showed that he
Huh.
returns. He never climbs. He never gets into that plane.
this is the plane. Yeah,
He
correct.
just turns around and he starts walking. So there is going to be Squid Game 2. That's what I think. But I still need an explanation on the last episode, specifically when
Old
he
man.
goes and meets the old
Yeah,
man.
exactly, dude. Look, I did not understand the old man's logic in going for these games and making all these other people participate in these games. Yeah, sure, you want to give them a fighting chance to better their lives, but by killing everyone else, dude, that seems a little too extreme. Like, I don't know how much you like people watching people die, but this is too extreme, dude. Seem very extreme to me. Just for that reason, if his reasoning is, okay, look at that homeless dude there. Nobody's coming to help him. See if there are just people who would help that dude. Yeah, but helping him does mean like if you do something for me and you don't succeed, you die. That's not. That's not. How is that helping anyone? His entire family, his people who loved him, his friends are crying right now. Dude, yeah, imagine that dude who had to like fight against his wife, right? In
Oh.
the show, on the show. That was
Mhm.
intense, dude. Like
The
what?
Marvel game.
Yeah,
He kills his
dude.
wife.
I expected that.
Yeah,
I saw that
totally.
coming on that episode from the get go. I was like, okay, they're gonna be like, okay, these two people, and then they'll have to fight against each other. That's just definitely what's gonna happen, and that's exactly what ended up happening. But,
My
yeah.
what I make out of from this last episode is that he did give them a fighting chance and agreed with the fact that okay, that's too extreme that if you lose you die. uh, but that also explains that okay, you should fight the same thing if you're outside these games. You have to take things the same way as you're taking it in the games. Like that if you don't perform, that if you don't work it out or beyond your limits, you will not get anywhere. Same thing. Like most of the time in few episodes, the characters mention that the outside world itself is killing us. The
Yeah.
money, the rents and the payoffs and all these stuffs. So in the games, it becomes very easy for them. You want this money, you can get this money, but you have to play for this. And if you win, you'll get the money. If you don't,
The
you'll
illusion
die.
of choice, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside world also. So these games were actually, and the old man was trying to explain them. Same theory, the same ideology you have to apply in the outside world as well. That's why he gave them a fair chance to quit the game as well.
That's true. He did. Like, no. In the end, the people who died, it is kind of their fault. Of course,
Yeah,
they
and
did agree to come back.
he also pressed the X button when they had to vote.
Yeah, correct.
He thought that the old man might have thought that, okay, these guys understand the critical situation over here. They understand the criticality of the situation,
But
and
dude,
that's why
all
they're
those
putting
people,
it.
200 people in the first match lost their lives without knowing what was happening.
That's why the old man agreed with them, and he said no. He thought that, okay, they have their lesson now, and they've learned their
So the
lesson
only
now.
people we truly feel bad for are the people in the first game, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah,
Because they had no idea. Everyone else was
they
informed
know.
and it was their free choice to come back
Yeah,
and
they
participate.
know.
Yeah, dude, those 200 people in the first game are that's sad. Man, tough luck. Yeah. Oh well, can't be
That's
helped.
what I made out from
Yeah, you're
from
right.
the last.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree. That makes sense to me. Okay. This is an interesting question. Before we end all this, right? What game do you think you would have the best chance in? You personally, which game do you think you will be the best at?
Tug of war.
Tug of war. But
That's the only
you'll be
game
the
with like
anchor or
prior
something. Is that what you're saying?
experience.
Yeah, that's true, man. Prior experience. Yeah, Kanche is just chance. A Marvel's game is just chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The marbles game, that depends on what
What the
kind
game
of game
is.
you choose to play with
Yeah.
those marbles.
But most of the
If
people are
you
doing the in and out wala game, no?
Yeah,
Maybe if you're eating
that's
marbles.
odd and even game.
Or
So
game game, yeah.
that's based on probability. That's based on probability, permutation, and combination. That's what
Yeah,
maths
but
has taught us.
I'm not a mathematician, so
Mhm.
it's all chance to me, dude.
If a mathematician might would have played that game, he would have really won it. So
We don't know
probability,
that. It's still chance only, no? You can
yeah,
analyze,
and
but
There
it's
was
still
a mathematician.
there was a mathematician. So they had all the tools to win these games, but they didn't use those tools. And plus, if Kanjay thing we just mentioned, the marbles game, the goti that we play in
yeah,
India,
yeah,
that's based on concentration. Like if you aim right and if you concentrate well and if you put the right amount of
force.
tension into the finger and
Uh,
throw it, you might hit the right marble. So it depends. Clearly depends on what game you choose in marbles.
okay.
I would
So
say I would
yeah.
say I would win. I would say I would clearly do well in the breaking glass thing. But again, here's my theory.
Why would you do well
I
in that?
Yeah.
I would just stand in between
Okay.
and I just walk over.
Okay. So you're cheating now, is what
Yeah,
we are
but
getting.
there's a theory. There's a theory. If I cheat,
Huh.
so we just mentioned, yeah, they could have just stand between the railings and they could just
But actually,
cross.
that's not cheating.
But
You know why? Because it's still equal footing. As long as everyone has an equal chance as compared to you, it's all fair game, right? And if
yeah,
you are seeing this railing, then everyone else is seeing that railing. It's not a hidden railing, right? So
yeah,
everyone
but
has an equal chance.
if you do that, there were two henchmen standing on the opposite side. If you do that, they might have shot you.
Yeah.
Like you're cheating, you're out of this game.
Again, um, like again, that's like we don't know because we never saw it. What would have happened? But had we seen that explanation, Deep, that would have been very interesting.
Yeah.
Although, dude, Saipyak's death, the way she got stabbed by that glass, that seemed a little like what? Why did that happen? That didn't need to happen. They could have
That
killed him
Huh.
seemed like
another way.
It was a cop
that,
out.
It was
seemed like a
kind
love
of yeah,
story. Love story ended well.
yeah. Gihan Ka exactly. He was like before it even started.
You're
Okay.
talking about Doksu, right? Doksu and Minyo.
No.
Huh,
No.
okay.
Okay, that though yes, they hugged and they fell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Sebyak, the main chick.
Okay.
She when the glasses explode at the end of that round, she gets one embedded in her
Rib
in
cage.
her stomach, in her rib cage,
Yeah.
right? In her stomach,
Yeah,
below her
yeah,
rib cage.
yeah. Mhm.
And that's what basically leads to her death finally, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, that one was like a little like that didn't need to happen, man. She didn't have to like get stabbed by a piece of glass. But that's something that she won that round and still she gets killed. So that seems like wrong to me, That seems like not fair in a way, basically. Okay, that
Yeah.
died because of glass exploding because these idiots didn't put the explosives properly or something. It's weird. Anyway, final part of the episode. We're gonna be talking about the 10 reasons why Squid Game became so big. Okay, I'm gonna read out. This is posted by an executive from Netflix, who is in the marketing department. He's like a marketing executive, and he says that these are 10 reasons. This is what my understanding is as to why Squid Game became so big. Number one is it's a fresh take on the familiar survival game genre that has proven successful with stories like including Hunger Games franchise and the movie Battle Royale. So this is again something we already talked about. They're similar to that. So because you understand this genre so well already, you kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll watch that. Second, number two is it touches on universal themes such as the widening economic inequality that are timely and resonate around the world. Again, something we already talked about. Makes sense. This all makes sense. All very relatable themes, right? Uh, Says the show is accessible. The main game and challenges in the show draw on children's games with simple rules. Yep. Again. Number four is the characters have emotional backstories that are accentuated by strong casting and performances. Fair enough. Great casting, great performances. Number five, the set and costumes are visually striking, which makes them instantly memeable. Right? That makes sense to me. If something is instantly memeable, it's easier to watch. It's already recognition. Sometimes before you even watch the show, you recognize the characters before you end up watching the show. Number six is the script is concise with lots of twists and reveals to keep viewers glued to their screens. Yep, again, very true. Number seven is there's a bit of blood and violence too, which is very Hollywood esque. So globally, that sort of thing is more likely to be found on streaming services than on broadcast TV because of local standards and censorship laws. So again, the Netflix stands to gain from here. Number eight, the streamer points. Number eight is the global popularity of South Korean culture, which again we talked about, known as the K wave, helped pave the way for Squid Game. Oscar-winning movies like Parasite and Minari, and wildly popular music groups like BTS and Blackpink. So okay, fair enough. And number nine is Netflix's global release strategy made the show available on demand to people around the world, allowing for an instant global phenomenon, which helps absolutely. Which wasn't the case when I think Game of Thrones started, of course. And number 10 and last, the round the clock news cycle driven by the internet helped build hype for the Netflix series, which again we can all attest to is the case for sure. These are the 10 points given by Alvin Fu about the executive at Netflix about why this show became this big. Any closing statements, guys? I can clearly tell all three of us really like the show and would really be interested in watching season 2 of it. Any other closing statements that you think we should talk about?
The music that they used. Fly Me to the Moon. और क्या मतलब amazing तरीके से use किया था उसको. They used it in the first episode. The end of the game.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And they even used that thing, the Blue Danube, which was used by Kubrick in 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's been used all through the series.
Oh,
And
I don't know that.
अरे
Okay.
बहुत अच्छा effect add किया उसने. मतलब that really like that add that sense of grandiose to the thing.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Deep, anything else?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to season two, as you just mentioned, because like now I have a grab on the show. I really like the concept of this show, that how they have compared the outer world and the what is a fantasy world that they have created for these players as a game. It only makes sense that okay, you want to. This is a shortcut for you to get past all your difficulties, all your miseries, all your struggles in the real world, and it's only going to help you, but at a cost. So even if you are a winner, you are paying the cost of all that lives that you stormed over
Yeah.
to get to that point. That's why in the end episode, if you see the main character,
Yeah.
Sangi Han, is all depressed. Is all he has lost his mind when the bank asks him, "You are the premium account holder." So he just says, "Okay." He still asks for money. Can you just lend me 10? Can you lend me 10,000 wons?
Yeah.
So he's also left with a scar, but then he gives away the money to the other characters. What's his name? Uh, the one who played
Sanhu.
with Ali, Sangu's mother. He gives her money, and plus he also takes care of Sabyok's little brother,
Brother,
and
yeah.
he
Hmm.
he hands over his brother to
Sangu's
her
mother.
brother to
Sangu's mother.
Sangu's mom. So that's his way of making things even. And yeah, he's again, he's still there. He still has that depression. He still has that scar in his head that he has came up. He has stormed over all those life and he's become a winner. That's why he is so desperate to go back to the game. So I really want to see what he does in the season 2 if they are making the season 2.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Uh, I think they won't miss a year. They'll be back. I think in 2022. I'm pretty sure with the the popularity of the show, it'll definitely be back. Uh, all right, that brings us to the end of this episode. We talked a lot about Squid Game and very interesting conversation. We covered, I think, everything. I don't think we missed any part of it. Please let us know what you guys thought about the show as well. I'm sure most of you liked it. It's such a global phenomenon, this show. So that's the end of this part of the episode. We'll see you right after this very short break with some awesome recommendations.
$100. That's all it takes to begin your journey with Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, really. With CoinSwitch, you can start investing in over 100 cryptocurrencies with just 100 rupees. On top of that, there are zero charges for deposits and withdrawals, so you can trade, buy, sell, however and whenever you want. All of this, plus their extremely intuitive interface, makes CoinSwitch the perfect app for beginners in the crypto space. But don't take my word for it. Just download CoinSwitch for free and try it out for yourself. If you'd like more information on cryptocurrencies, tune into a show about crypto with me, Rohan Joshi, my new adventure on IVM podcasts. CoinSwitch, kuch to badlega.
And we are back with some recommendations, guys. Let's start. Aditya, would like to give us your recommendation?
Yeah, so again, it's a book this week. It's one which came out this month. It's called Delhi in Thy Name. It's written by Adrija Roychowdhury, and it's an amazing book about the various legends that make the city of Delhi.
Delhi
So,
in Thy Name.
Delhi in Thy Name. And the book basically talks about how, places in Delhi got their names and the various stories and legends about them. And most of these books, they don't really talk about like the urban centers of Delhi. They talk about old Delhi and the Delhi of the past. This one actually talks about places like, if you're from Delhi, you'd know them. They're Chitranjan Park, CR Park, or the Pamposh Enclave, Saket, these places. And a very interesting point about Saket is how this posh locality in South Delhi is actually connected to Ramayan.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
really, really interesting book to read. It's just come out.
Okay, wow. Cool. Okay. Who's the author again?
Adrija Roy Chaudhary.
Adrija Roychowdhury. All right, cool. Deep, what about you? What's the recommendation, man?
So I'm going to recommend a band. The band's called Riverside. It's a progressive rock genre band, and that's the band I'm really tripping over these days. So it's if anybody is a fan out there of Porcupine Tree, Tool, Opeth, so they should really give this band a listen. It's called Riverside. They have a YouTube page. Just go there and check out their music.
All right. And moving on to my recommendation, I would like to recommend. So, a couple of weeks back, actually, like 3 or 4 weeks back, I recommended a show called Only Murders in the Building when it was still in like its fourth or fifth episode. Okay. It was, it's a show starring Steve Martin, also co created by Steve Martin, but starring Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. Again, it's still a crazy combination after the whole season has ended also, but the season has ended and epic show, great show, very easy watch. It comes under a subgenre of suspense and thriller called the cozy thriller, which again, this is something I just found out recently about the cozy thriller genre. Very interesting. Yeah, it's about like a who done it kind of a show about murders that have happened in this particular building in New York, and the three main people who are investigating this live in the building, played by Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez, and they decide to make a podcast about it, and it's very interesting, very fun, extremely meta in a lot of ways. Like for instance, like say like a character says something right on the podcast, on the show, and so another character will be like he'll address, oh, that'll be a great line for the end of the podcast or something like that. It's like very meta, very intelligent. Please check it out. You'll really like it. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the recommendation round as well.
I want to leave everyone on the show with a bonus. So since we guys spoke about Squid Games, you guys should also check out Alice in Borderland. It is similar to what Squid Game is.
Okay.
I really don't want to explain or what do you say the plot. I just explain the plot or maybe disclose the plot. But you all should really check out Alice in Borderland.
Okay, I've seen it. I've seen the. It's on Netflix again, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. I've seen the like a thumbnail show up and all.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. See you next week. Please be back, and also please let us know if there are topics that you like to see us listen to us talk about. We're always looking for great topics. So thank you so much for tuning in this week. See you guys next week. Bye bye.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcasting Network. On Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by the actress Neena Gupta, who talks about her distinguished career and her new book, Sach Kahun To, an autobiography. On the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast, Varun, DJ, and Ashwin discuss the last week of the IPL 2021 and Dhoni finishing it off in style as CSK enters the finals. On Simplified, the gang debate the Great Resignation, a global phenomena causing a major spike in employees quitting en masse. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam talks to Rohan Paranjpe, head of alternative investments at Waterfield Advisors. They discuss investing and the outlook on startup culture in India. And on The Habit Coach, Ashton explains how we should slow down and smell the roses with the help of the Goan concept of Susse Guard. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you enjoyed this show, or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. We appreciate the word of mouth. And finally, we'd like to thank the sponsors on our network this week: Cred, Bank of Baroda Quarter, CoinSwitch Kuber, Slay Coffee, Intel, and Kotak Mahindra Bank. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.